Last time when it happened, there was no border fencing. We did not have troops like the Rashtriya Rifles there. We were not expecting what was coming in at that stage of time. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in Jammu and Kashmir. A lot has changed along the LOC. So there is a lot that is changing there at the moment.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to Chitti Media. I'm your host Sharan Sethi. Today we have somebody very special with us. He has served in the Indian Army's Artillery Regiment. He served in the Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir. He's also been a part of the United Nations peacekeeping forces in Mozambique. And today he's a very well-known security analyst. We have with us today Major General Harsha Kakar. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So I hope you and your family is doing fine.
Absolutely. And in this period of COVID, doing our bit to push others to take their vaccination.
Right. So, going right to the first question, what we see in Afghanistan, the recent developments, the Taliban has been taking over a lot of vital strategic checkpoints and a lot of provincial capitals, and the Afghan democratic government has been left in a disarray. So, what are your initial comments on this?
I think you're reading too far ahead into this. Uh, you've got to realize that Afghanistan is a big country. There are different tribes and regions ruled by different communities, whether it's the Uzbeks, the Pashtuns, the Hazaras, the Tajiks. So there are different areas where they've made a headway. Yes, they have made progress. They've moved into a few provisional capitals, but that is not a major threat as of now. And it's not something which can be easily taken as a means of, that the Afghan government is under threat. You've got to realize that when the militias took over Afghanistan post the withdrawal of the Soviets, it took them 2 years. The Taliban came in 4 years later. And now with the world body, especially the US, moving in its air power into the region, it's not going to be easy movement. It's initially. Now, the border areas are the remote areas. A few of them which they've taken in. There's a lot more. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very time consuming. Can the Taliban maintain the momentum? The Afghan armed forces are being globally supported. Can the other side maintain the momentum? So there are issues on both sides. So we shouldn't take it that the scenario has come that Afghanistan is going to fall. It is not. It's going to take quite a long time more, in case even it does happen.
Right. So, in that case, are you positive that there is not going to be any short term security threats to Jammu and Kashmir? And also linking that with Mr. Modi's meeting, heading the UNSC meeting today, how do you see these two events in correlation, sir?
See, Modi's meeting today, or the one which he's heading, is on maritime security. That's a different ball game altogether. You're looking basically at the threats to commercial shipping, the piracy threats, the blocks that countries like China are placing in the South China Sea. So that's a different ball game. Keep that on a side. As far as Afghanistan and Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, I think again we are moving too far or too fast forward. Last time when it happened, there was no border fencing. We did not have troops like the Rashtriya Rifles there. We were not expecting what was coming in at that stage of time. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in Jammu and Kashmir. A lot has changed along the LOC. So there is a lot that is changing there at the moment. Next is, today Pakistan's terrorist groups are operating in Afghanistan alongside the Taliban. Would they or the Taliban fighters, if and when they do feel that they can take over Kabul, start shifting base here, they've got to suppress the other terrorist groups or the other communities which are anti the Pashtuns, whether they are the Uzbeks, whether they are the Tajik. So there is a lot that's going to happen. Yes, some of the Pak-based terrorist groups may shift focus from Afghanistan to India. But you've got to remember, if we start escalation in response to infiltration attempts, who's going to be hit? Pakistan. It's not in a position to control its western border with Afghanistan. It has now deployed the army on the western border and moved the Rangers away. The reason is that border is getting hot. How many hot borders can Pakistan sustain? How long? So we need to wait. We need to be patient. We shouldn't jump too far ahead in such a short time.
Right. I mean, forgive me being very pessimistic about this, sir, but God forbid, but if there comes a day when the Taliban completely takes over and we have a reimagination of the 1996 environment, how different do you think it will be in Afghanistan this time?
Afghanistan is different. If you're looking at the 1996 environment, if you're looking at the way the Taliban is going to behave post it takes over in like it did in 1996, let me tell you, I don't think it's going to go that bad because they have to realize that they are a nation. They've seen the way countries have grown. The Taliban leaders have now been moving globally, whether it's Qatar, whether it's China, whether it's Moscow, they've been all over. Their local leaders who are fighting in the front may not have been exposed to the sort of environment which the heads of the Taliban have been exposed to. They're going to look at developing a country rather than taking it back into Stone Age. They're going to look at what they've seen across. After all, they'll need world support. You can't starve the population and still expect to have a country.
Right.
You can only have a country provided you're able to care for your population. You can't go back to barter trade. You have to look at something for the future, not going back. If there is a meeting tomorrow, you don't expect the Taliban leadership to be coming on donkeys, but you expect them to fly out.
Right.
So for that, the country needs to move forward. How do you expect them to move forward? So they are now aware of what they need. Yes, they may look at still imposing Sharia laws and the rest of it within, but you've got to realize that Sharia laws are also being imposed in parts of West Asia.
Right.
But those countries are also developing. So they will look at it as a combination of all. They will definitely look at countries which can help them develop without seeking to exploit them. They would look at selling off assets in terms of their minerals to countries for funds so that they can develop. So they're going to look at it in a mix of ways. It can't be going back to Stone Age like it was then. I don't expect that to be.
I'm really glad you brought up the last point because China has already been eyeing a lot of the resources in Afghanistan, and it plans to extend a lot of its projects from POK and Pakistan to Afghanistan as well. So the Sino-Pak nexus that we've seen for the last 70 years, how do you see that trajectory growing in future Afghanistan?
China will definitely use Pakistan's influence over the Taliban to try and push in the CPEC into Afghanistan and then onwards beyond Afghanistan. It will also seek to go in for Afghanistan's resources in terms of its mineral wealth and the rest, because China has looked at grabbing minerals from across the world. There's nothing new about it at all. The question is, it needs a very, very stable Afghanistan if it's going in to invest. And unstable Afghanistan will lead to instability in Pakistan. The whole scenario is linked between the two countries. Today, you're finding instability in the western provinces of Pakistan because Afghanistan is unstable. So for China, if it has to push through and move ahead, it needs absolute stability. Stability in a country like Afghanistan, which is not a nation state, but a collection of nations ruled by tribal warlords who follow their own norms and have no allegiance to the center, is not going to be easy. How long will it take? Will it actually stabilize? Even the current government has not been able to stabilize or control all the warlords. Today, the warlords are fighting almost their own battles against the Taliban. So in that sort of a scenario, expecting the country to be stable enough for China and Pak to actually exploit the CPEC or the minerals is waiting for a long time to come.
Sir, thank you so much for those elaborate answers. Thank you for joining us today. And we hope to have you again for a much more lengthier discussion because this subject merits it. Major Saab, thank you so much for joining us. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
And to all our viewers who are watching this, please do like, share, and subscribe. This is your host, Sharan Sethi, signing off.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.